Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, what's going on? Today was a very lively... Before we get into it, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, share the video. Make sure to smash the likes up on this video. Guys, today the live stream was kind of wild. It was kind of... you know what? It hit me a little bit. It hit me after that, you know what? I felt really bad on Spike, and if he is watching this, I want to give a shout out to Spike. I didn't really want to take him off. I wanted to keep him on, but I just think I think it was difficult for me to, you know. I just felt the live stream was going in the wrong direction, and hence why I wanted to bring that to an end. But I feel Spike. I do feel Spike. I see where he's coming from, because I felt the same way about fighters, and I felt the same way. I felt like Amir Khan doesn't get the great treatment here in the UK. I've always felt like, you know, he deserves a lot more credit, and Spike was talking about that as well. But what we've got to understand as boxing fans, no matter who you are, no matter how great you are, you're always going to have people pushing someone down. That's just unfortunately life. That's just unfortunately life. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. That's just how things work. Some people are not going to agree with what you're doing. Some people are going to agree with what you're doing. Some people are not going to like. That's just where it is, man. And I did feel for Spike. I did feel for Spike. Because I think some of the stuff that he was saying, and I think Stephen was right when he was saying that Spike is actually he was making some good points, and he knows his boxing. But I just think I think Spike got a little too emotional. But I do respect Spike. I'll easily have Spike on again. I just think sometimes what happens is sometimes you can get heated, and then you can't get over that, and you keep making the same bringing up the same thing over and over again because something has triggered you, and you just can't get off that point. And I feel like Spike got to that place. So I will say to Spike, if you want to come on, like, we'll probably go live again tomorrow. Maybe you can come on and it'll be more cooler, and he'll be able to give, you know, his side more, you know, more clarity from his side, and maybe, you know, it'll be much better. It'll be much better. And like I said, I always love you guys coming on because it's great. It's great debate. What I would say is let's try keep it to boxing, you know. Let's try keep the debate to boxing, because I'm not like these other channels, and you guys know this, that I don't really come on here and push any kind of, like, I even tell you who I support, who I like. And I like to think I'm a bit, like, maybe I'm a little bit biased in Canelo's favor at times. Maybe I need to be a bit more harsh on Canelo, possibly. Maybe I need to, you know, be a bit more lenient on some of the other fighters. I don't know. Maybe. But at the end of the day, that I feel like sometimes we support these fighters and we look at them as like heroes. So, and what I've noticed over YouTube over the years is, like, you'll see people in the comment sections going at it with each other, and I really never understand that. And I get like that now as well on Facebook. When I see people intentionally trying to have a go at Khan, for example, I get really like, oh man, like when, oh, he's got a glass chin or something like that, and I go at it. I get really passionate and I start going back at him. But then I think to myself, who am I going back and forth with? Who am I going back and forth with? What's the reason? That I'm never going to change that guy's opinion. I can list Khan's achievements and what he's done in boxing. I'm never going to change his opinion. I'm never going to change his opinion. He's always going to think that. The same way with a Canelo fan. You're never going to change somebody's opinion that's against Canelo. I mean, what I mean by against, he may have fair points about Canelo. And you may say, well, look, Canelo's achieved this, that, and the other. But he'll always come out with something that will be against Canelo to put Canelo down, because he's not a fan. You see, someone like myself, I'm not a Canelo fanboy, but at the same time, I like Canelo. I think he's one of the best in the sport. But at the same time, I can criticize him in a fair way when I feel he's wrong, And I also give him praise where I think he deserves praise. So when people talk about Benavidez, I say straight away that no, Benavidez will get dismantled. But Stephen thinks Benavidez is a problem for Canelo. Well, I say it straight. I don't think he is. I think Canelo knocks him out. And Campos came on. And one thing, and Campos got accused on there by being a Canelo fanboy when he's not. Because he's criticized Canelo on my live streams before. So he's definitely not a fanboy. But Rare Breed automatically thought, because he was saying something in favor of Canelo, that he's a fanboy of Canelo, when he actually isn't. Because, like I said to you, he's come on my live stream and criticized Canelo Alvarez. He's criticized Canelo Alvarez. Campos has come on and he's criticized Canelo before. I can't remember what it was about. It might have been something to do with Bivol, or I can't remember whether he's put in a catchweight or something like that. I remember Campos. Maybe Campos, if he's watching this video, he'll be able to remind me. But I remember. So Campos is no Canelo fanboy. He's actually a sport fan, but a fan of the sport, and he's actually quite. But I mean, he's actually quite neutral in his thoughts, because I know, because I have you guys on my channel, so I know who's who and who's what, who likes Canelo and who dislikes and who's come on. There isn't really anybody, that even Dundada, who came on the other day, actually, he's pretty good. You know, he was really good the way he came across. And the one thing I will say about Stephen is Stephen seems to be getting some crazy amount of people in the comment section having a go at him. But Stephen's not a hater, not even in the slightest. Stephen is, nah, man. Stephen is cool as they come. Like, there's no way he's hating on Canelo. He's giving you his opinion. It's crazy how he got accused of this, that he has some kind of agenda against Canelo when he's saying Tyson Fury's the best best fighter in the world. That's his opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. There's many people that think that Fury is the best in the world. They're actually quite biased. That's just Stephen's opinion. He's entitled to that. Do I agree with Stephen that Tyson Fury is the best in the world? No. But that's his opinion. Why would he be biased in favor of Tyson Fury? Tyson Fury is a British fighter. You know, so why would Stephen be biased for Tyson Fury? It doesn't make sense. You know, there's no link there. He's just giving you his opinion on why he rates Fury. He could even say Alexander Usyk, who's accomplished a lot more than Fury. But that's just his opinion. On his eye test, he feels Fury's the best guy, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. I don't agree with that opinion, but that's an opinion. Just like the same way me and Stephen disagree about Canelo and Benavidez. I think Canelo will destroy Benavidez. I think he'll knock him out within 6 rounds. But that's just an opinion. Little Penny, on the other hand, thinks Benavidez is a serious problem. Everyone's got their opinion on how they view a certain fighter, how that thing. But what I will say on my channel and the people that come on, I've never seen anyone driving an agenda. Even like some people give Rare Breed a lot of stick, and even Rare Breed actually is pretty neutral. You know, he's pretty neutral. Like, yeah, some people may say that, yeah, he gives Canelo a bit of stick, but I actually think some points you can't disagree with him. Some points he's right. Some I don't agree with, but that's the whole purpose of a debate. He gives his opinion in a he puts his points across in a great way, in a respectful way. You know, and that's the whole purpose of a debate. I don't know why people, you know, at times can get so upset, you know, about it's boxing. It's boxing is a sport. People are entitled to opinions, you know. See, the problem is what happens is a lot of you guys watch other channels which probably are actually hating on Canelo. And then you in your mind think that everybody is like that. So when someone speaks against Canelo, he may just be a neutral guy that just doesn't like what Canelo's doing. You think automatically that he's cut from the same cloth as the other people that may be hating on Canelo. That's not always the case. Unfortunately, that's just boxing. That's just sport. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. And not necessarily everyone's opinion, even if it's against your favorite fighter, is agenda driven. It's not. You know, you could call me a David Benavidez hater for saying that I think Canelo knocks him out. David Benavidez fan could call me a Benavidez hater. You know? So at the end of the day, everyone has an opinion. And in terms of this, like, Canelo stuff, like, people are very passionate about Canelo. I get it. And sometimes things can spill over. I get it, like, you know, like it did today. You know, and when you've got a lot of people on your stream, you know, things can get heated. I get that. I get that. You know, people will have their own opinions. But no one's, in my opinion, on the channel so far, I don't think anyone's pushing an agenda. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. That's what makes boxing debate so beautiful, and that's what makes, I feel, us a platform where we, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. You know, and yeah, today was kind of crazy, man. It was kind of crazy after the live stream. You know, I felt like after that it wasn't the same, because it never is. Because when someone has their say, and it kind of like just everyone's like, whoa, you know. It's difficult to get back on track. But yeah, I'd love to have Spike back on, man. I'd love to have Spike back on, and for him to give his say. Hopefully Spike comes back on tomorrow. Like, if we do a live stream tomorrow, I'd love to have him back on, and we can talk, you know what he wants. You can complete what he wants to say. It would be great. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. To be honest, I did enjoy it. It was great. Like, look, here's what I'm gonna say about Canelo and Benavidez and this. Eddie Hearn wants Canelo to become undisputed. He wants Canelo to become undisputed, a light heavyweight. That's what Eddie Hearn wants Canelo to do. Now, Canelo wants to go to cruiserweight accordingly. I don't know if that's gonna happen now, because I think there's a lot of pressure, you know, being put on Canelo. Like, maybe people don't want to see that Makabu fight. So maybe Canelo will go up against it. But Bob Arum said that, you know, Canelo wants to fight Joe Smith first. Winner of Smith-Johnson. And then fight Beterbiev after that to unify. Maybe that's what he's going to look to do. Maybe that's what but what's his name? Canelo's going to look to do. Because maybe he thinks, let me try get the ESPN titles cleared and get those titles first. Let me work with Bob Arum, and then I'll go and work with Eddie Hearn to do the Bivol fight, because that'll be easier fight to make. Let me first clean this out and get the titles from Bob Arum. And ESPN would have a ball, because think about it, they'd get a Smith fight. I think Smith is with ESPN, and obviously Beterbiev is with ESPN, so he'll be probably fighting on ESPN, which will, you know, obviously ESPN will get Canelo for 2 fights, most likely. So ESPN will get Canelo for 2 fights, which they'll obviously love, because they'll have the pound for pound king fighting on their platform, the biggest star in the sport fighting on their platform, which will obviously help their platform. It'll do crazy numbers. And yeah, I think Canelo might just do that. Canelo might look to fight maybe the winner of Smith Johnson, who are fighting in January, I believe. It's January, I think. So he may look to fight the winner in May. Or maybe he fights Makabu. I don't know how he's going to plan this. I think if he fights Makabu in May, then he's going to have to fight a big fight in September, if he's going to fight twice. And maybe a fight with... maybe Canelo fights 4 times a year now. Maybe the fact that now he's not with Oscar De La Hoya, he's probably going to think, I'm going to fight at least 3 times a year, because he's his own boss. He can do what he wants. Whereas before, he was kind of with Golden Boy, you know, we don't know what was going on there fully. But now he's running the show. So maybe he may fight more times a year now. We don't know. Maybe he could fight Makabu early in February, then fight in May. I don't think he could do that because I think the way he's gonna. I think these fights are gonna be a lot more tougher than what he had to go through last year. And Canelo said he wanted a rest. He wanted his body to take a good rest, which he should do because his last 10 months were very, very draining. Because it's not so much the fights, it's the camps in between the fights. You know, he's putting a lot of strain on his body. You know, it's not good. He needs some time out. You know, he fought Callum Smith in December. Remember, there was a camp for that, right? Then he fought Yildirim. There was another camp, right? Then he fought Billy Joe Saunders, another camp. Then he fought Caleb Plant, another camp. You know, so this guy's been relentless. He's been non-stop. You know, and that's no good, man. Having those 4 fights back to back like that with not much time, he needs a good 6-7 months off. You know, and he's not even gonna have 6-7. Well, he could do effectively because he fought in November, didn't he? I think he fought in November, so he's got December off. Whole of November, December. But if he's gonna fight in May, January, February, March, April, so he's probably gonna have to get back in camp by end of Feb, right? If he's gonna get ready for a May fight or middle of end of Feb. So he's probably gonna have a couple of months off. You'd say, what, half of November, December, January. So probably about like 3 months, 3.5 months. But that's, again, probably needs more time. Probably needs more time for the way he's been fighting. This guy's been relentless. He's literally been relentless. So, yeah, man, credit to Canelo. And this is why I don't give Canelo that much stick. Do you guys understand that? Look at the work this guy's putting in. No fighter's doing that. And even like, what you got to understand is, when you're fighting that frequently like he did last year, you can't afford to fight monsters after monsters after monsters. Because he's fighting too frequently for that. Like fair enough, if he was fighting twice a year, I'd expect both fights to be very high level. But he's fighting 4 times a year. I don't mind the odd gimme here and there. But people keep saying that Callum Smith, Yildirim, Billy, 3 of those out of those 4 opponents were champions. All 3 were credible and fairly big fights. Now, in terms of Canelo being favourite, Canelo would be a favourite against Benavidez. He'd be a favourite against Andrade. A substantial favourite. Not just a favourite, a substantial favourite. A substantial favourite going into those fights. You honestly think that what's his name? Benavidez would be a substantial favourite against Canelo? Not a chance. Canelo would be a humongous favourite going into that fight. A massive favourite. Odds-on favourite. Odds on. Huge favourite. This is why I don't understand when people say Benavidez this, Benavidez that. He'd be a massive favourite, man. Huge favourite going into those fights. It's not even close. It's a massive favourite. It staggers me how people think Benavidez is somehow going to be the guy that beats Canelo and you know, takes Canelo deep and I don't know. I just don't see it. People are talking about Canelo fighting Usyk. And as some people actually think he could give Usyk hard time. And people here think Benavidez. Nah, man, I don't think Benavidez would. I don't think Benavidez could beat Canelo. I think Canelo would iron Benavidez out. I'm just being honest with you. I think that fight don't go past 6 rounds. I'm being brutally honest. I don't think that fight goes past 6. I just think Benavidez is defensively not sound enough to deal with what Canelo will dish out. It won't be sound enough. And as Campos pointed out, even in his title fight, you know, Benavidez didn't look too good. And Campos was willing to, he was high. He said, I was willing to, bet huge money on Canelo winning that fight. So, he's very confident that Canelo's going to do a job on David Benavidez. And to be honest, I am as well. I don't think Benavidez has much of a shot in that fight. I think Canelo's too good. He's just so much better than Benavidez. I think Benavidez hasn't got. I don't think Benavidez has got what it takes to beat Canelo. I think, listen, you've got to be special to be able to beat Canelo. I don't believe David Benavidez is. I don't believe David Benavidez is that guy. I might be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm willing to, say, okay, I was wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I think I'm going to be... Look, Beterbiev's a legitimate threat, and Beterbiev has a chance of beating Canelo. There's no doubt in my mind Beterbiev might beat Canelo. And I think anyone, if you're a Canelo fan or not, you know deep down that Beterbiev could beat Canelo. If you say no, then you're lying to yourself. If you think that, you know, as a guy that, as you guys know, I keep it real, Beterbiev could beat Canelo. There's no doubt in my mind that I think Beterbiev could be a proper problem for Canelo. But David Benavidez, I'm sorry, he won't be beating Canelo. I just don't think he has what it takes to beat someone like Canelo. I think Canelo's too good for him. Too good, too sound. Yeah, I just think Canelo's got too much for David Benavidez at this point, on what I've seen so far. If Benavidez goes in there with an absolute beast like Beterbiev and absolutely destroys Beterbiev, then maybe my opinion might change. But at this point, of what I've seen so far of David Benavidez, yeah, no. Beating Canelo is a long shot for him. A long shot. There's no way I see that happening. Just no way. You know, Canelo right now, he's too good. He's the man. He's the man in the sport of boxing. I don't see anyone beating him, like, apart from Beterbiev. He's the only guy from 175. I know Steven also said he thinks Bivol beats thing, and I think Ray also, like, I don't see it. I don't see anyone at 175 bar Beterbiev's the only guy from 160 to 175 that I think has a chance. And I want to give a shout out to my man James Deere, who actually thinks that Beterbiev would be an easy fight for Canelo, and he wants Canelo to fight guys like Benavidez, Charlo, and Andre. I don't know what you see in Andre, Charlo, and Benavidez that you think that you don't see in Beterbiev, my friend James. I'd love James to come on as well and give his thoughts on the live stream. I'd love to have him on one day when he's free. But I don't see what you see in Charlo, Benavidez, and Andrade for you to think that Beterbiev. But you say so. James, are we saying? And I would love for you to answer this in the comment section. Do you think Charlo, Andrade, and Benavidez have a chance against Beterbiev at light heavyweight? Because I think you said something like, well, Beterbiev's old and he's had 18 fights or something. So would you favor them against Beterbiev? Because I can tell you something. There's no way in my mind that those guys would stand any chance against Arthur Beterbiev. Just not a chance. That's my honest opinion. I think they would absolutely get destroyed against Arthur Beterbiev, irrespective of his age, irrespective of how many fights he's had. I don't think they would stand a chance. But I guess that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Do you think Benavidez, Charlo, and Andrade would stand any chance against Arthur Beterbiev? Because I can assure you, I don't think they have any chance. But I'd love to know your guys' opinion. What do you guys think? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.